All right. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay. It took a little bit to find the Facebook group as we're trying to stream it on. But good morning. Welcome. We are so excited to be on today. Welcome officially to the Freedom Series. We are here and we are excited. Really, we're excited for this series. It's been a few days in the making, actually a few weeks in the making, and we're gonna have an incredible lineup for you guys. As you know, we are going to go 10 straight days. Actually, no, I lied. We're going to go 10 days, 5 straight days. We're going to take a break for the weekend and then we're going to come back and finish it off for 5 more straight days. So, how many of you have been super excited about this, like we have? But also, maybe how many of you are brand new? How many of you, maybe this is like you're a brand new coach and this is your first ever series of any kind or any kind of boot camp? Throw that in the chat because we'd love to see who's brand new. But these series are incredible. These boot camps are amazing. They are set up to help you succeed. They're set up to help you grow and to really take your business to that level, wherever it is that you do want to see your business go. So we are excited to be on because in a time when the world is really contracting, Optavia is expanding. So this is an incredible opportunity for growth. This is an incredible time for growth. And I really want to know in the chat too, how many of your businesses have just grown over the last few months? How many have you seen massive growth during this pandemic? Put that in the chat. I'd love to kind of see how many of our businesses have been growing through this pandemic. Love it. Mine, absolutely insane. See, it's growing, you guys. This is really the time to really help people. This is the time to have an at-home business because the world's going crazy, right? And so it's been absolutely incredible. So now is the time to grow. But also, how many of you are looking to build freedom? Because this is why we titled this series the Freedom Series. Is we're gonna lay down the blueprint, and over the next 10 days, we're really gonna give you the path to build a global director business and beyond. That's if you're going to allow yourself to be open, allow yourself to be coachable, allow yourself to stretch a little, and just do the work. If you're consistent and you do the work and you get into action, then you will grow. This is very predictable transformation, right? We have the fuelings, and that has been complete predictable transformation. We eat the fuelings, we have our lean ingredient, we drink the water, you lose the weight, you get healthy. Well, it's the same thing with coaching. Is the path has been laid out, the path has been done before us. And so if you just follow the path, you connect with your support team, you're consistent, and you don't give up, then you will grow. So let's set the foundation, the foundation of this series, the simplicity of it. Number one is just going to be follow the directions. Our job is we're going to teach you everything that you need to know. We're going to tell you everything that you need to do. But like Jamil says it best, right? Is just suspend all fear and thinking and just go. Don't think about the little things too much. Don't overanalyze everything or overthink everything. Don't take too long to do things that don't take too long to do, right? Number two is get in action. Dedicate the next 2 weeks. Everything that you're going to learn, apply it, and just go all in. And lastly, but probably most importantly, is I'm going to challenge you not to quit, not to give up, because it's very easy to get excited about getting into a training, and then after a few days decide, what, I don't have time, or the excuses start to pile. I'm going to tell you guys this: a lot of the stuff you've already heard before. Okay, there's going to be nothing new, but that is what makes this program and coaching so incredible. Is the fact you're going to listen to probably the same things, but I want you to understand, like, if you know this stuff, awesome, but can you teach it? And that's what is going to be for some seasoned coaches on here that may have heard some of the stuff. You know kind of what to do. You're doing an incredible job. I want you to kind of twist or turn a little bit and really think, I may know this and I do this and I apply this and I've seen growth, but can you teach this to your new coaches coming in? And that's where it's going to be the really most important part, is learning how to teach this moving forward. So a lot of this you've already heard, but it's also the magic of when someone else says it, it might just click a little bit more, right? You may hear the same thing, but you may hear it differently this time, to where you're going to be like, I get it now. So we are excited. So let's go ahead and get this party started. We have a huge, incredible hour ahead of us. But before we get into the training part, I wanted to kick this off with bringing on two incredible coaches to share what is possible in such a short amount of time. What is possible if you go all in, if you do the work, if you don't quit, and just go all in, right? And so they're going to come on and they're going to share a little bit about their story and what is possible because these coaches have only been coaching just a few months, probably, yeah, just a few months. And they've already started to build such an incredible business. So first, I'm excited to bring on Chris and Nancy Holt, who are going to share with us. So Chris and Nancy, go ahead and take it away.
Good morning and happy Labor Day to everyone. We're super excited to be here this morning. Just to kind of tell you a little story about where Chris and I are. We started the program May 19th, and within a week, Chris made his first post on Facebook of just his face. And that first week, we got so many people reaching out to us that we just knew that we wanted to be a coach and pay it forward. So within about another week after that, we literally hit senior coach that quickly. By the end of June, we were already at associate director, and a month later we hit ED. Currently our frontline volume is at 15,000, our group is at 20,000, and we're super excited with everything that this has brought for us.
I mean, this business has just absolutely changed our lives. And, number one, just from the transformation part, I mean, Nancy and I have lost 90 pounds together. So our story alone, just from what this program has done for us, has just been amazing. But once we made our first post, I mean, literally we had about 30 people reach out to us. And that's when we decided that we wanted to be able to help other people and to be able to pay this thing forward. And so, now the type of income that we're talking about, is executive level positions that you can get paid in this company. And, we've been blessed with the number of coaches that are showing us the way. And that's the whole reason that we're having the success that we're having, with our coaches that are leading by example. And, my takeaway and my thoughts in wanting trends, give it all to you, is just that you need to follow your coaches. And that was the whole thing for us, is that we watched Toby and Tiffany and Erica and all of them. We watched them just blow up. They didn't know what they were doing in the beginning. We didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. But we knew that we just needed to share our story, be passionate, and the excitement will bring the people that want to have a part of this. And with that, I mean, today we're paying off debt, doing things that our corporate jobs weren't able to allow us to do, and to really start to dream again, to have the vision of what is to come, that if we just stay the course and continue building, I mean, we don't ever want to look back now, and to have a vision and a dream of what we want to be able to do, that it's going to take some money to be able to do that. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what your dreams are, but I promise you this business right here will allow you to dream again. And this business will allow you to start thinking, what if I just gave it my all? What if I just kind of put away all the excuses? And what if I just decided to trust what Josh and Michelle have laid down for a foundation and just go all in? And that is exactly what Nancy and I have done. We've trusted the process. And I promise you that if you buy into this and you give it your all, incredible things will happen, because we're going to have our debt. We're going to be completely debt free, probably, besides our house and our car, by the end of December, possibly January. And what a freedom that is, but I'm going to let Nancy kind of tell you what else this thing has done for us.
I'm super excited to say that Thursday will be my last day in corporate America, that I quit my job. Super excited about that. This business has replaced our income, and I'm really excited to do this because this is my passion. I love this. I love paying it forward. I love helping others. And I can't be more excited to be able to focus all my energy here.
So this is what maybe a nugget I want to give to you. Are you the coach that others want to follow? Be the coach that your team wants to follow. You know, it's going to take a leader. It's going to take someone that's going to step out of their comfort zone and be the one to go and lead the way for others to follow. And until you are that coach, borrow your other coaches' successes, follow them, share their story, and pass that on to everyone else. We're so excited about this series, and I hope that you guys will take this and just run with it, because it's absolutely worth it. Thanks, Michelle.
What a way to kick us off, you guys. Congrats, Nancy. You guys, that is what it's about. Is we love helping clients, right? We love helping clients get healthy, find new purpose, but helping coaches being able to change the trajectory of their life, being able to come home now full time and do this full time, like that gives me goosebumps. It gets me emotional because that is just so exciting. Congrats, you two. I mean, honestly, you've been only coaching for such a few months, and to show and see what is possible has been incredible. So congrats, you guys. Isn't that not awesome, you guys? All right. So next we're going to bring on another coach who also is going to share with us what is possible. She's been coaching, I think just finished up her 3rd month. So Miss Bobby Collins, please come off and share your story with us.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day, guys. Quickly, I wanted to share my story with you. Back in April, I was actually laid off from my corporate job. A job that I actually thought I would be there for forever, right? Due to COVID, I was laid off. So that brought on a ton of weight. So I actually reached out to Michelle. I think I started around the same time Chris and Nancy started. I think it was like May 19th. It was Memorial Day weekend. And within a couple of weeks, I had people already reaching out to me. And I wanted to be that referral client for Michelle and Josh. No part of me wanted to coach. I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not talking to Facebook. I'm not selling anything. I just didn't want to do anything. Me and Michelle hopped on the phone a couple times, took a couple convincings, and I brought on my first 2 clients the same night. And from there, it was crazy. My business just boomed. It was absolutely insane. The first week I hit senior coach. The second week I hit associate director. And by the end of the month, I hit ED. And I never thought that that would ever happen. Just not being the one that wanted to post on social media or do any of that. And I think I still text Michelle every day when I see that bonus. It just is remarkable. I never got this bonus at a corporate job ever. So the fact that I am now home, I planned with Michelle and Josh. I actually remember this day to the T. My work called me back. I think it was like July 30th. They wanted me to come back in August. And I had already been home with my little one for 4 months. And the thought of taking her back to daycare and going back to a corporate job gave me the worst anxiety. I called Josh and Michelle and I was hysterically crying all over Zoom, like literally tears falling down, had no idea what I needed to do. They calmed me down and I sat down with my husband. We did a budget. I hopped back on the phone with them and I was like, this is how much money I need to make to stay home. And they both looked at me and they were like, easy. I was like, easy? Like, no way. Like, that's just it's not possible. Right. And within that month, and not even like that week, I called my corporate job back and I was like, I'm not coming back. Like I believed so hard in Optavia and I knew I had seen the income. I just didn't know that it would be this great. I had seen a little bit and we were going to be flexible with it. We were going to, take away some car payments. We were going to turn my car back in. We actually thought about like selling our house and moving. But then maybe a month later, after I never went back to my corporate job, I'm making more money than I did at the corporate job. So not only has this, this business helped me financially, it's helped my family financially. I text Michelle every time we get a bonus and I'm like, I've never just made this money in my entire life, like ever. So it's so nice. I get to be home with my baby. I get to be home. I get to do something that I love to do. Like Chris and Nancy said, go all in. follow your coaches. They know what they're doing. Josh and Michelle know exactly what they're doing. So if you listen to them, you will be successful. This program does work. And like Michelle said earlier, we have the feelings, we have the water, we have the coaches, we lost the weight. So of course, this is going to work if you follow the system. Go all in. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. I was afraid of posting on social media, but it was like, I was either going to make money or I wasn't going to make money. This was either going to become a hobby or this was going to become a business. So now this is my business, and it's changed my life so drastically that I just am so grateful every day. I'm super, super blessed. Great community and great coaches. So go all in. You will have the financial freedom that you need to stay home. I promise you. Thank you, Michelle.
I love it. Is that not good, you guys? So proud of, seriously, both of you. But I mean, what a way to kick us off, right away to start. Like, let's show them some love in the chat. But that's so awesome. Both of them, in just a few months, it's only been 3 months that they started coaching, and they made that decision, right? Everything will start with a decision, so making that decision today, if you have not made that decision, that you want freedom, and whatever freedom means to you, whether it's time freedom, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's both, whatever you're looking to do, make that decision. We're going to teach you everything. We're laying down the blueprint over the next 10 days. We are laying it down, and we're going to go over everything that you need to know to build a successful business. And like I've mentioned, if you're already kind of knowing what you're seeing and what you're hearing, I want you to ask yourself, you know what, I know this, but can I teach this moving forward? So awesome start, you two. So let's get started. Let's start off with our training. So we're going to really lay down everything that you need to know. We're going to start off in the very beginning, and the first thing that we wanted to really start with is using our dynamic story. That is the most powerful tool that we have, is our story, because there's no story that's your story. Everyone's going to have their own individual stories. And this is the way that we're going to impact people, is remember, people aren't buying Optavia because of the name Optavia or because of Dr. A, but they're buying Optavia because of you, because of your story, and because of the excitement that you have to share that. And so I really wanted to start this off with how do we make connections using our dynamic story. And I wanted to bring on such an incredible coach, who they have a frontline volume like nothing I've ever seen before. They actually have the highest, not only in our organization, but in Jamil's entire organization. And so I think last month they finished off with a little over 31,000. That's a lot of clients that they are supporting. So they are constantly just going out there, sharing their story unapologetically, and just inspiring a lot of people to move forward with their health. So I'm gonna bring on Miss Tiffany Tillman to kick us off. So Tiffany, my friend, are you there?
I am. Good morning, everybody. I am super excited to be here this morning. I tell you what, I'm already emotional listening to Chris and Nancy, their story, and knowing that we had a part, and Nancy, I guess we didn't, kind of a little bit, had a part now that she's able to stay home and be able to get out of a job that she was just really not loving. And that just literally almost started bawling like a big baby. So anyway, that's exciting. And then Bobby, I know for a fact, being a mom of 4, the fact that you get to stay home with your baby who just turned 1 and be there and not miss a milestone, that's priceless. There's nothing out there that can even compare to that. So that's what Optavia is doing for people. It's just literally changing lives. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got started. Some of you guys may have heard it. But I think it's important for you to know how things kind of transition to where we are today. I was introduced about, through one of my very best friends, Erica O, and Chari, and they both were on the program, but I was adamant that I wanted nothing to do with it. And I remember, I guess it was at the beginning of kind of quarantine, we had gone for spring break to Branson with my kids and my parents. And we had gone to breakfast and they were taking pictures. And I remember I was sitting there editing it. How many of you guys edited all your pictures? Okay, how much thinner can I make my face look? Can I cut it off right here so they don't see the rest? That was my life. And I remember my dad looking at me and going, Tiffany, why would you do that? And I just started bawling. And I was just like, at that moment, I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'd already known that Eric and Chari were seeing massive success, but I had tried everything. There was nothing out there that I had not tried and not seen great success with. And I had a lot of health issues going on at the time. I, going to rheumatologists, lots of autoimmune, which I'm not going to get into now. But literally over the last 5 years, my whole life and health had plummeted, and it was horrible. And I didn't even recognize myself anymore. You've seen those commercials where the lady like unzips herself and she steps out. I was like, I really am a fun person on the inside, but I was so just hating who I was on the outside that I couldn't be who I really wanted to be. And so I remember doing my health assessment with Michelle and Erica on my way back from Branson. But still, even though I had that moment, I still didn't, I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of blew Michelle off, and God, I love you, Michelle. I hope you know I love you. But I was not very kind on that call, just because I was just like, this is going to be another thing that's just not going to work. Long story short, March 27th was day 1 for me. And I didn't notice day 3, day 4, day 5, when everybody's like, oh, the energy, it didn't happen. But I had a lot of stuff going on internally. So it was day 9, 10. But I remember this, and I'll tell this story and then we're going to move into our training. But I remember it was 11 o'clock at night. I was working from home. I was on my bathroom floor scrubbing the grout with a toothbrush. Like, y'all may go, oh, I do that all the time. Okay, well, my big butt never got down on the ground to scrub a grout with a toothbrush because I would be in too much pain because I hurt all the time. And I remember looking up at my husband as he's all propped up in bed watching Dateline or something. And he looked at me, and please excuse me, and I am going to say a cuss word. He's like, who in the hell are you right now? And I go, who in the hell am I right now? I was so excited. But my life changed right then. I knew something was happening. Even though the outside hadn't made a huge difference, something was changing on the inside. So I had done my horrible pictures and my measurements, and I had done all those things that we're supposed to do from, told from our coaches that I did follow those directions. And I started getting really excited about it. And people started asking me, like, you just seem so much happier. Not the outside. They're not seeing a huge difference. But I decided on week 3 that I was going to do something that I never, ever, ever thought that I would ever do. I was going to post my picture after 3 weeks. I did my before and I did a comparison at 3 weeks. And let me tell you guys, and if you guys are friends with me, you guys can scroll through there and see it. I had a sports bra on and shorts, and it was not pretty. As a matter of fact, it was real ugly. Okay. And I looked like a pot-belly pig. I was like, oh my God, I looked like I was pregnant, but I didn't care, because here's the deal. People need to see transparency. They need to see it. You getting on Facebook and going, oh, I've lost 12 pounds in 18 days. That's great. And their interest will be piqued. But unless they see a visual, it's not going to matter. And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, to push that button and put that on Facebook, because I was laying it out for the entire world to see, but I didn't care. And because I made that choice, Toby and I's life changed that day. Now, my husband is another story. He joined in after 3 weeks, and with his background of being a trainer and a ex-professional athlete, he knew everything he knew about weight loss, supposedly, right? And then he joined the program and he saw massive results. And that's one thing that we have done. And I'll never forget Josh telling me this, like, Tiffany, live out loud. Live out loud. Don't hold it in. Who cares what people think? Because literally, because I made that choice, our entire lives transformed into a better place that day. And so with that being said, we had a lot of people reach out. They wanted to know what we were doing. And I was like, well, I guess we're going to be coaches. I guess this is what's happening. Because I love my friend Erica. She's one of my best friends, but shoot, I'm going to take that money. If I'm going to be the one introducing, like, I want that. And so I call it that we were ignorance on fire. My coach was brand new. Her coach was kind of new. We didn't know what was going on, but I knew that this program had something to change. It could change everybody's life, whether it's 5 pounds they needed to lose, or it was 200, and to get off blood pressure medication and to get off diabetic medication and all these things without making medical claims. I know that it'll do it, right? We just have to be the ones to introduce it to them. So from then, we had a lot of people inquiring, and they were ready to jump on. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was real messy for a long time. And, when we'd had people come and then they would fall off. How many of you guys have had, like, they do it a month and they're gone? You're going, what's wrong with you? How could you not, why would you not continue? Because I wasn't doing what I needed to do. So that's one thing you guys need to understand. You've got to be a coach to these people. That's what this program offers. If you do the program, it's going to be just like a diet. It's going to work. Just like they said, with the fuelings, drink your water, do your lean and green. It will work. But how long are they going to stay? Do they really know what this offers? Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances? No, because we haven't given them what they need to be able to open the world of what true Optavia really means to them, right? So first thing is you've got to make sure that you're building a rapport. When you do a health assessment, and I do basically an assessment every day at work, so this was second nature to me, but you have to go into discovery, and they have it laid out for you, you guys. Follow through that whole little guide that they've given you. You want to know, tell me about how it was at your best time in your life, when you felt great, when you weighed the best, when you felt good in your clothes. Let's talk about that. Get them, and they want to remember all those things, and they're going to tell you all about it. And then you want to transition to, okay, what changed? What shifted? How did we go from that to where we are today? And let's break those things down. What habits were changing? And once we talk, and they don't really like that, I'm up 100 pounds. I'm up 70 pounds. My husband doesn't look at me the same anymore. Whatever it is, you have to find the main cause of what it took them to actually reach out to you and say, I'm ready for a change. Something happened, right? Because this weight's been going on for a long time, but there has to be that one point that made them shift and say, I don't care if I have to talk about what I've done. I'm reaching out to Tiffany because I want to know what she's done, because I don't want to feel like this anymore. And find out what it is, because I promise you, when they think about, if you can get that little nugget, when they think about quitting, you're going to be able to bring them back to that moment when you said, you remember when you were out, and whatever that story may be, and you can bring them back to why they started, and you can keep them on course. After that, make sure that once they sign up, you do the health assessment, you talk about how amazing Optavia is going to be, and you let them know that they're going to get a coach. That coach is so important. We're going to do your kickoff call. I'm with you every step of the way. You are not alone in this. You have a massive support system that you don't even know yet. We're going to do a kickoff call. I'm going to be with you the first 4 days. I'm going to be checking in with you. Don't feel like this has got to be a 30-minute call. This is a 5-minute check-in. But you know what? They know they've got that support because that's what you promised them from the get-go, right? And if you're not checking in with them, you don't know. Maybe they're using too many healthy fats with a higher fat protein. What are they doing wrong? Because if you get to that, you don't do those 4 days in between, you're going to get to that 1-week celebration call, and they're going to be like, well, I only lost 1 pound. What? Well, you weren't doing what you were supposed to do as a coach, right? So we've got to make sure that we're doing our part, because that's what we're getting paid for. So make sure you're following up for those 4 days. And then comes the celebration call. And that's the most exciting call that I was missing from the get-go. I wasn't doing it. Michelle's like, Tiffany. And I'm like, I didn't know, right? So do your celebration calls, because you're going to find your coaches there. And I wasn't doing it. And so now I'm having to go back and kind of bring those people back and do those. And we are finding our coaches. But, also in the health assessment, you're listening to what they're unhappy about. Are they miserable at their job? I mean, I know there's people on here in corporate America that work with me, maybe, but it's not my favorite place to go every single day. Do I have goals with this business? 1000%. Right? So anyway, I spent a lot of time on that, but it's important that you are with them every step of the way. Now, do I have people that I've done health assessments for that have ghosted me or not move forward? Sure. Yeah, some people are just nosy. Some people just want to know what you're doing, right? They're not going to move forward. It's okay. It's okay. Some people just, maybe they don't feel comfortable saying, I don't have the money. Right? I hope I'm timing this right, because I feel like I've been doing this a long time. If I've gone over, tell me. But it's important because you have to drip on these people. You have to love them where they're at. Not everybody's going to be like the Holtz. They're going to be like, game on, let's do this. Like those are, speaking of the Holtz, like when you're looking for coaches, I'm kind of all over the place, but I have a lot of points I want to make. Those of you who have been in this business for a while and you feel like, God, I can't find those coaches. I can't find them. I think of it like a deck of cards, right? And you can have a deck of cards, and each time you flip it over, you may get a 2, you may get a 4. You want those aces, right? And I flipped my first card over and got the aces and the holts, and I'm so blessed by that. But there are a lot of people that are going to flip, and all your aces are going to come at once. So my point is be consistent and don't stop and don't quit. Okay, back to what I was saying. So, but there are people that are just you're going to have to drip on them. You do that health assessment with them. You add them to the journey of health, because when you're not even thinking about it, they're seeing those statuses come across their Facebook, and the journey of health is dripping on them for you, and you don't even know it. And they will come back around. We have people coming to us right now that we talked to in April, and they're just now coming. So timing is everything, and just love on them where they're at. Don't take it personally. Don't be emotionally attached to the outcome. Well, I like the income part, but the outcome, some will, some won't. So what next? That's my mentality. And when I say so what, I don't mean that like I don't care. I don't become emotionally attached to the outcome, because it's not time for them yet. I don't want to bring them on and them not have a great experience. If they're not ready here, or maybe there's another reason, oh, I did it. Then just love them where they're at. I promise you, you share your journey, you keep living out loud, don't stop, stay consistent. Your life will change, and you will change everybody else's life as well. There you go.
Powerhouse right there. Was that not incredible? You guys throw in a few things in the chat, what you learned from what Tiffany just said. That was so amazing, my friend. Thank you for literally just throwing it all out there and pouring your heart out. So good. All right, guys, next, moving on. So we are next going to go to another incredible coach. Now that we're sharing our story, we're in that mindset. We just don't care. Like Tiffany says, sharing just unapologetically to everyone. Now we're starting to set up some health assessments, right? We're starting to set these calls with these people that some are nosy, like Tiffany said, that want to learn what it is that you're doing, but some are really looking for us and really wanting to see what is it that we're doing. So to go over the mindset and to go over a quality health assessment and how to go through a quality share, no one better. And this next speaker, she is just so incredible at this, at really awakening people. So Miss Anna Cross, actually Miss Ann Davenport, newlywed, are you there?
Good morning, you guys. Thank you so much. My goodness, Tiffany, how do I follow your energy, girl? I'm over here getting all pumped up. I need to bring it down a notch for myself. I love it. You are on fire. Man, I am so honored to share with you guys. This is a portion of our process that I am really, really passionate about. So thank you, Michelle, for allowing me to share this and hopefully offer some tips and tricks to those of you that need them. So let's get started. I think first and foremost, I want to just make sure that we are all on the same page of the purpose of a health assessment. I think if I reflect on when I first started, and as I am helping coaches learn, right, and they're doing their practice health assessments, the purpose of a health assessment is not, in fact, to fill out every line on that paper. The purpose of a health assessment is to awaken our future clients and coaches to their why. Why are they wanting to make a change? Why are they on the phone with us? What is it that they want? So we are really seeking to understand what healthy looks like for them, and it's different for everybody. So this is not only an opportunity for us to learn, but this is an incredible opportunity for your future client to hear themselves share what it is that they're looking for. And I find that the more that they can talk and the more that they can share, they're hearing themselves say it too. And that not only awakens us to where we get to guide them, it awakens them and empowers them to make that decision to change. So that's when they get to decide that they're going to do something about it. So that's really the purpose of a health assessment, which I think is important for us to understand. Now I want to dive in a little bit to leading a health assessment. And it starts the minute we get on the phone. So we want to make sure that we are allowing ourselves the time prior to a health assessment to be prepared. So if you aren't already doing this, I encourage you to kind of have a checklist. I always have a blank health assessment when I go into a health assessment. I always have water. to make sure that I have something to drink, a pen, and I provide myself with a quiet space that is free from interruptions. Fingers crossed. I cannot control my children, but I can provide a space that is most likely to do that. So those are things that you want to make sure that you've got ready for yourself before you're going into a health assessment. And then there's preparing you and your being. Take a few minutes to really prepare your own energy. Your mindset in entering a health assessment is critical. So we want to come into a health assessment with a calm energy, clear intentions of what it is that we're doing here, right? And as I mentioned, the purpose of these health assessments is to awaken them. So really having that intention of listening and receiving. So getting ourselves into receive mode, right? Like I am ready to learn. I am ready to listen. I am ready to absorb. This is our chance to hear them. And for most of us, I know myself, right? Like I had struggled for a long time, and most of these people that we're speaking with are feeling that same way. So to give them that open, safe space to share, just remind yourself that this is absolutely not about me. I am not on the phone for anyone but the other person. And then always give yourself enough time. So a rushed health assessment is never going to be successful, in my opinion. I always schedule myself at least 30 minutes for a health assessment, although most of the time it runs 20 minutes probably. Trying to squeeze a health assessment into a 10 to 15 minute window is not going to serve your future client, which in turn is not going to serve your business. So there's my tips for getting ready for your health assessment. Now, as we lead into getting on the phone, right? So we want to make sure that we're friendly and kind and welcoming to these future clients when we get on the phone. Just remember that these folks are on the phone with us because we've already inspired them. That's why they reached out to us to learn more. They're already excited to talk with us. They know what we're on the phone to do, which is to share about our program. We've already told them that, right? Like cat's out of the bag. So I encourage you not to waste their precious time and yours having some small talk. A good, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Oh, I'm really great. Awesome. Well, thanks for getting on the phone with me today. I would love to hear what it is that you're, hoping to accomplish with your health. That is literally my introduction on a health assessment. It goes no deeper than that. I jump right in with my first question. I get them talking. That's what I want them doing on the phone with me. I want them to talk to me. So remember that you're a professional health coach, right? We are here. We get to change lives for a living. That is incredible. But in order to change those lives, we have to know what it is that they want. It's not our goals, it's their goals. So this is just as much a tool for you and for your business as it is for your client to really get there. So use it as that. We are so fortunate to have these things laid out for us with a system to follow. We don't have to figure it out. So allowing that process to just work for you in your favor. Now, as we dig into the health assessment form, I believe that the very most important, that didn't even make sense, but the most important portion of that form is the awaken section. So if you're going to spend any amount of time on the health assessment, spend it here. Scout's honor, it will serve you, it will serve your client. I cannot say this enough. I'll say it over and over and over. Coming in with that blank canvas, right? And really allowing them to paint for you their current state. Where are you starting? In the awaken section, if we're asking the right questions, they're going to tell us what we need to hear. So my encouragement for you is to stop after you ask the question, be quiet, and just listen. Generally speaking, you're going to get a super surface level answer the first time, right? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish with your goals? Oh, I just really want to get healthy and stuff. Yeah, I totally understand. What does getting healthy look like for you? And then they're going to probably go a little deeper, right? But we have to dig and peel those layers of that onion back because this is emotional. And if we don't help them get to that emotional space, it is unlikely that they're going to go there on their own. So we have to keep probing and asking those questions. So give yourself permission to spend 10 minutes on that first page of the health assessment by trying to dig and understand what that looks like, right? What are these activities that they want to participate in? What are things that they used to do that they're not able to do anymore? How does their body currently feel? What are they most excited to participate in when they reach that goal they told you about? Dig in and fall in love with what they're telling you. I share this with my coaches, but I always do health assessments on a telephone call. I never do them. I shouldn't say never. That's a big claim. I almost never do them on a video call. And the reason is that I want to be in a space where I can absorb. And so for me, it looks something like this. And I am sitting in silence. I'm not kidding. My eyes are closed a lot of the time. There's always a pen in front of me with the health assessment form because I just want to feel what it is that they're telling me. So if I can drop in and be in their space, I'm going to get what I need to serve them. Because remember, this isn't about me, okay? So we've got to really get into that space. So now that we've awakened this potential for these clients, they have fallen in love already because they've listened to themselves talk. This is the meat and potatoes of a health assessment, is really, really getting into their why. So we kind of fast forward through the form, right? And we want to know, we've probably already at this point, if we're listening correctly, we've probably already gathered a time in their life when they were healthier. We've probably heard a little bit about what's changed between then and now. But if not, we can briefly ask those questions to get an understanding of what led them to this point. And then there's a few questions, about their current health. Where are they? And so I like to just sum that up with a few quick questions. Do you take any medications or have any food allergies? Is there anything else you think I should know about your health? And is there anyone else that you'd like to get healthy with you? Those are quick questions to kind of build that kind of the I don't want to use nitty gritty, the little details that we do want to make sure we know when we're considering which program to offer them. And then I transition into asking them a little bit more about kind of a day in their life. And I explain it to them as this. I want to, really put together a baseline where you are now so that I know where we are starting as we begin working together toward your goals. And then I ask them a few questions. Now I empower you on the second page when you're digging through their the details of their life and what they eat, their movement, their mindset. Give yourself permission not to fill up every single line. It's okay. If you have a general idea of how they're sleeping, of what their energy level is, where their mindset is, that's great. And so when I was first starting out, believe me, I made all these mistakes. And that's why I'm trying to, impart this knowledge on you guys. Asking those questions feels repetitive on the other end of the line if they've already given you an idea of what that looks like. So I'll give you an example. When we ask, how many hours of sleep do you typically get in a night? And they say like, oh girl, I'm a full 8, it's solid. Well, I don't need to ask them like, well, what's the quality of your sleep? They just told me that, right? So I may ask, what's your energy level like throughout the day? It's amazing. Or it's like a 2. Okay, great. So digging into those questions, but not feeling like I have to ask all 3 or all 4 if I already have an idea of what that looks like. This is a conversation piece. Okay, so that leads us into sharing our program. What a gift that we get to share this with them. So we've now collected all the information we need to identify which program would be a great fit for them. Now we get this. You don't have this, ask your coach to send you a digital copy of it. we get this incredible resource as we learn how to share our program. So for some of us that have been doing this a little bit longer, we probably have our own spiel that, you know, follows this same guideline, but we put our own twist on it. If you're just starting and you're feeling really uncomfortable sharing the 4 pillars of our program, read it. Nobody on the other end of the line knows that you are reading off of a piece of paper. They're going to figure it out when they decide to join us as a coach and pay it forward to their family and their community, and they get to read it too. So utilize this. We don't have to make it complicated for ourselves. It's right here for us. And it covers everything that we need to know. So the 4 pillars, right? You get a free health coach. That's incredible. This form will dig right into what health coach offers if you don't have that verbiage for yourself. The Habits of Health Transformational System, that book and that workbook, right? We can slim our bodies, but we've got to slim our minds. Our community, like here we are, right? 7 o'clock in the morning for me on the West Coast. And I have all of these beautiful coaches with me that want to join us and learn how to be better coaches. This community is unreal. So making sure they understand what a blessing this is for them, that we get to welcome them into our family as well. And then our fuelings. So touching on what it is that makes our program work, the science behind it. And this form right here will break it down for you exactly how to share that with our clients, okay? And then covering costs. We want to make sure that we cover our costs. And I know this is a really touchy piece for a lot of people. So I encourage you, to go in with confidence. Remind yourself that this program is a wonderful investment in yourself. It is not expensive. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of tricked myself in the beginning into thinking it was expensive. And I was like, ooh, it's really hard to say, like almost $400 a month. And then I remembered I saved money. I spend less money using the program than I did prior. So my waistline shrunk and my pocketbook grew. Like, you cannot beat this. The value is incredible. So remind yourself of that when you're going to share that it's only about $400 a month for all 5 meals a day for 30 days. That's it. Sharing the 3 phases is another piece I encourage, right? This is not a weight loss program. That is one stop on this journey, is reaching a healthy weight. But we also get to guide them through their transition period. So making sure to share that there's a weight loss phase, there's a transition period that we're going to guide them through. We're going to hold their hand and we're going to make it together. And then we're going to lead them into optimization or their long-term eating plan. And sharing with them that they guide that. Really, they lead what their optimization phase is going to look like. And we are going to be there, whether they are using the fuelings or, you know, how many fuelings they're going to use. That is something that we'll discuss and make the decision once we reach their healthy weight. So they understand the long-term game plan when they're joining us, that this is not just a 30-day diet. We are not just here to drop a few pounds and then drop them off at the bus station. We're going on a journey and we're going to do it together. We're in it for the long haul. Okay. And then the last piece before I turn it back over to Josh and Michelle is invite them to our journey. Okay. And I have a number of ways that I do this depending on who I'm talking to, but my Shelly Garcia dropped this on me and I have adopted it and I'm in love with it. I simply end by saying, what do you think? Is this program a good fit for you too? And then listen. They're either going to say yes, they're going to say not yet, or they're going to say no. And then they're probably going to provide you with all of the reasons why they're not ready yet. Okay, so if you listen, you can help negate that. I could just go on forever about all of those things. Michelle, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I hope that I was able to offer somebody some insight that they needed to hear, and that you go into your next health assessment feeling more confident and calm and in control.
Thank you, Anna. That was so good. So good, you guys. How was that not powerful? Was that not powerful? Did you guys learn some stuff from there? Post in the chat a few things or a few takeaways that you heard from Anna. She is such a queen when it comes to a quality health assessment and really just setting yourself up for success on that health assessment. So good, my friend. Thank you. So next, you guys, we are going to bring on, actually, before I bring them on, you know, I know we're obviously going to use the health assessments, and there's going to be a lot of people, or there's going to be a lot of objections that come up, right? And so we really want to get good at understanding these objections. So no one better than Mr. Josh Bomba to come on and really help us understand these objections that may happen. So Josh, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, guys. I'm coming from across the room over here, but yeah. So what I want to hopefully do is get you guys really comfy with the invite, right? We'll talk about some of those most common objections, things like that. But before we get into that, we want to understand why we are on this call in the first place. It's not to close them. It's not to sell them. It's not to get the deal done, right, guys? We're contending for their why. We know this is going to work for them. So we're contending for their why. So really kind of, we were just on that call with them. We were probably 20 to 30 minutes peeling back the onion, figuring out what it was that was going on in their life, what it is that they need. And we're there to offer a solution, right? Most of the people who are on this call, they'll have like a lack of belief in themselves that they can do this because they've done so many things in the past that haven't worked, or they've always ended up back where they started afterwards. So it's our job to believe in them until they believe into this for themselves. So that's why asking questions or figuring out those smoke signals that people are giving you, because we know this is going to work for them. They're just at that point where it's time for them to make a decision, right? And nobody wants to make that decision, right, and have it be the wrong one. So again, it's our job to believe in them until they can believe in it for themselves. So what I will tell you is the worst thing you can probably do is ask, once you get through the entire health assessment, sharing the 4 components, probably one of the worst things you can say is, what do you think? Right? Because their brain is in that emotional state where they're remembering what it's like, when they were down 20 pounds or down 100 pounds or before they were diabetic, whatever it is. Now, when we ask, what do you think? It takes their brain back into that analytical thinking, right? As opposed to being in that emotional state where now they're at the point where they're believing in it. Like they're thinking at the time, like, oh, how great is it going to be when I'm, here at my goal? Or how is it going to be when I'm back down at, 120 pounds where I should be, right? So that's where their brain is at. When you ask, what do you think? Now they're going to start thinking, it's expensive, it's not going to work, what's my hubby going to say, all that good stuff. So a lot of it is offering a solution to the problem. That's what professionals do. Everybody on this line is a professional, and as professionals, we offer solutions. So usually what I say is I'll grab that health assessment and I'll read it right back to them. Say, hey, I know how great it would be for X, Y, and Z, what they told me, because I'm taking notes. And the solution to get you to that point that you want to be is going to be our essential optimal kit. And then we'll go into that right there. But offering a solution to them is what they're looking for. But the smoke screens that usually come up, number 1, it's probably cost. 2 is I got to talk to a hubby. 3 is I need more info. Those are probably the top 3 things that you'll hear. So what I usually say when somebody talks about the cost, right? I imply that a lot of people, felt that exact same way before they started, right? So I'll put them in the same box as everybody else, right? And let them know other people have felt that way before they started. They came into this call knowing that there was going to be a transaction. They probably had some number in the back of their head thinking, all right, if I'm going to do this, this is my budget, right? That's a whole nother training that we can get into, talking about wellness credits or things like that. But they came into this with here's a number. So all we got to do is try and close that gap, right? We have to I guess get them to believe the value that this is actually going to bring. If they came into it thinking it's going to be $300, now we're not contending with 400. We're only contending with that 100. So we have to sell the value of that $100 and what it's going to do for them. The second thing is when they say, I got to talk to my husband or I got to talk to my wife. In a way, that's just a smokescreen. There's something else that's there. Could be cost. It could be, it could be that they've failed in things in the past. But a great question for that one is, no, I totally get that and I understand. What do you think they're going to say? right? Because that, again, peels back that onion to that point. What is the true objection? Is it cost? Well, now we can address cost. At the same time, if they say, I need more info, that's almost where I take it back on myself, and I apologize, and I say, you know what, I'm so sorry, more info. I must have not done a great job explaining the 4 components. Which one do you need more info on? Because more info is just, again, that point where we have to make a decision, and we don't want to make the wrong decision, right? We are not confident in ourselves that we can be successful in this. So again, it's peeling back that onion. What did I do wrong with explaining the 4 components? Which one do you want to find out more about? Again, it's peeling back that onion, and that's really where the main objections come out. And it's really just finding out what is it that's really going on in their head. But again, we are not here to close people. We are not here to sell them, anything like that. We know they're going to do the program, whether it be right then or 6 months later. They're going to continue to watch. If they need help, they're going to continue to watch, and they're going to finally say, all right, I'm ready. So again, it's us contending for their why when we really do dig into the cost, I have to talk to a hubby, different things like that. So hopefully that brought some value, and you guys can use some of those suggestions when inviting people to join you. Michelle.
I love it. I love it. Is that helpful, you guys? That really, really kind of set in and makes sense now moving forward. So a few takeaways that you heard from Josh in the chat. As we close up, there are going to be action steps, right? Because like we mentioned, we are going to teach you everything that you need, but it's about getting into action, and we're going to start off really slow. Okay, the first thing that we're going to actually, and I'll post these in the group as well, and something that actually I'm going to encourage you to even post too is we're gonna have a lot of engagement in that group. We're going to keep it fun, but it's going to also take some work from you guys to help with that engagement and posting. So first step, what we're going to do is we are going to write out our goals. Okay, so when we have something that's visible to us and we see that visual, we know what we're working towards and why we're working so hard. So I'm going to encourage you to write your goals on paper, take a picture, and I'm going to encourage you to post it in the group in a thread that we're going to start, and also send to your support team so that they know what goals you have for yourself, whether that be long-term goals and short-term goals. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is, this is going to be fun. We're going to do a scroll, stop, and post, okay? What I mean by that is we're going to do an updated Facebook launch of ourselves, and we're going to share our story, because maybe some of you have started program, maybe some of you did program years ago, maybe months ago, but I always feel that when we are sharing our story is when people, it's more powerful. And so let's do a scroll, stop, and post. Let's update our current state of health in a sense of just sharing that. And let's do it fun. Let's do something like a sugar shot, or maybe people hold, bags of dog food, whatever it is, representing the amount of weight that you've lost and that you've continued to maintain. So those are the 2 things that we're going to do today. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fun. So write out your goals, take a picture, send it to your support team, post it in the group, and then let's do a fun Facebook post really showing, obviously what we've done with our health, how much weight we were able to lose, and how we're able to keep it off. And I'm going to encourage you guys is to stay hip to hip with your support team over the next 10 days. They are going to be there every step of the way. Bug them, because they're just waiting for you to connect with them too. So I hope today was really helpful for you guys. Awesome start. Thank you to all of the trainers and all the speakers that came out and just poured their hearts out. I hope it was brought value to you guys. And then join us tomorrow as we further go deeper into, now we're getting some clients. So what are we going to do? So you guys have a good rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow.